Exactly, and we welcome to the show Hadisu Abubakar, currently a PhD scholar at Wits University, with research interest including climate adaptations, rural development, and access to water for sustainability. Very impressive indeed, but we're going to be talking about something slightly different, and that is about community elders uniting to end deadly Christian Muslim clashes in Nigeria. And we understand that for 2 weeks now, the once peaceful town of Jos has oscillated between 12 or 24-hour curfews triggered by the latest ethno-religious conflicts that have killed at least 60 people in the town. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the program. Hadisu Abubakar, assalamu alaikum. Are you there, Hadisu? Okay, we seem to be having a problem there, and obviously we want to understand why these ethno-religious clashes has surfaced again after a couple of years. It seems that it's tit for tat killings between Muslims and Christians of northern Nigeria. They've been renewed for some reason. Local elders are trying to resolve the differences as the government, they say, is playing a fence sitter role. Why is the government not taking control about a situation that could truly split the country down the middle and possibly be doom and gloom, total doom and gloom for the country? Let's welcome to the program Hadisu Abubakar. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure entirely, but not good news at all as far as the clashes between Christian and Muslims in Nigeria are concerned. Why has this bubbled up yet once again?
Yeah, I think basically it's just lack of justice. This crisis has been reoccurring for the last 20 years, which we can recall. The first major crisis took place around September in 2001. That is when we had serious religious crisis or ethno-religious crisis that rocked the city of Jos or the plateau in general. So over that period, there are various state inquiries by the federal government, by the state government, but all amount to nothing. There was no any justice that was served to the people, and that is why people felt they can do anything what they want, and they will go scot free. And I think majorly why this thing keep occurring is lack of justice, and this is happening because the political leadership are not doing the right thing. They are afraid of the people or the vested interests. And these vested interests have been, they have various kind of qualification that they have in their interest in the crisis. I mean, people that look at so much divide, either in times of economic opportunity or in times of political opportunity or in times of this divide, whether you are a settler or whether you are a indigent of the area. I think those are the major issues that has created this. And again, the Land Act use of Nigeria is so outdated and archaic, which has given room for all this kind of shenanigans that is happening in the country. And there is no excuse for government. Government has to take good care of the people by protecting the life and property of one another, and we must break the cycle of violence that is taking place in that volatile state of Nigeria. Yes.
This is a long-standing crisis. The latest episode of this Jos crisis is traced back right to the summer of 2001. This was whilst the world's attention turned to the 9/11 attacks in the United States. Sadly, the problems, the uprising in Nigeria was overlooked because the 9/11 was world-making and world-breaking news. And ethno-religious conflicts between Christians and Muslims claimed the lives of over 1,000 people at the time. It's also a more significant part of the settler indigene conflicts, which continued into 2004, 2008, 2010, and 2015, which has really split into other north central cities like Kaduna. What can be done to contain this? We know Human Rights Watch has reported that up to now, more than 13,000 people in Nigeria have been killed in separate inter-religious attacks since Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999.
Yeah, like I said, lack of justice. When there is no justice, there can be peace. And just like the former scholar Sheikh Usman Al-Fodio of 18th century said that a kingdom can withstand disbelief, but a kingdom cannot withstand injustice. So let me just put it in retro. Let me just do a small backcasting for you to understand this crisis. This crisis, for the Plateau crisis, we can say it started in 2001. But the main crisis that gave precedent to all other mother of crises in Nigeria was the Kaduna crisis in a place called Zango Katab in around May 1992. That is when an ethno crisis led to the death of over 3,000 people, and no one was brought to justice. And that gave precedent for subsequent crises that were happening in the country. Like I still maintain that without justice, without providing justice in this crisis and bringing the perpetrators of this crime to justice, we cannot. That crisis is not going to end. Then there is this issue of settler indigene in that central part of Nigeria, between those who claim that they are the indigene, they are the aborigines, and those that migrated. And this migration that we're talking about didn't just happen yesterday or 100 years. This is over 300 years, things like that. But there is polarization of it in terms of religion. Maybe the settlers feel they are Christian, the settlers are Muslim, while the indigenous are non-Muslim. So that creates that kind of crisis when Nigeria returned from military era. During the military era, we had relative peace in that area, not because of anything, but because the military do try people based on decree. There is no litigation, and the courts in Nigeria are so much. There is issue of corruption. There is issue of sentiment, tribal sentiment. When you feel it is one of you that is being tried, they try to downplay the whole thing, and all those kind of things interlink with one another, and that is why we continue to have this crisis. Let me just remind you of the most recent crisis that took place last 2 weeks, just during the celebration of the Maulud Nabi. Some people went to another state. On their way coming back, they were attacked, they were killed, and that led to outright, complete nationwide outrage by Nigerians. Why should people, common travelers, be attacked just because they are Muslim or they are not from the area? And after 3-4 days, there was a curfew. Then later, we saw another reprisal attack in that area. So you see, it's lack of justice. Like I said, the government claimed that they have arrested over 30 persons. But between 2001 to today, there is no single person that has been tried in the court of law that has been brought to justice. And that is why this crisis continues to take place. And we should not simplify this issue as just simple issue, a conflict between religion, between the major religion in Nigeria. I don't think it is a religious crisis. It is purely an ethnic, economic crisis, which has religion meaning, which people attach a religion meaning to it. And if we have time, I can portray that for you. Thank you.
What is it going to take, my final question to you, to bring justice and peace to the country and to the regions where a lot of the the killings seem to be happening. We also know that there seems to be, even though you say it's not necessarily religiously based, we do know that after the latest waves of killings, there was a slight shift in narrative. Muslim leaders, aware of the aftermath of the newest spell of infightings, have vowed publicly to protect churches and Christians in Muslim dominated areas. Do you think that a tactic like that would start working when the Christians will see that the Muslims don't want to be enemies, that they want to live in peace and harmony?
I think that's just a dress up, a cosmetic dress up to the issue of Muslim protecting churches or churches or Christian protecting mosques. These are just political cosmetic dress up to the main issue. To bring justice is simple. Let rule of law take its place. Let all parties of conflict forget about this guy or this group of people that are attacking or they have been killed. They belong to us. Let us keep that. They are set of criminals. No one has the right to take law into its hands. The monopoly of violence is only owned by government, and government has to do that with rule of law. So without enshrinement of the constitutional right of people to live in any way they want to live as a citizen of the country, then we cannot quench the issue of the settler indigent crisis. And that settler indigent crisis continues to become a hotspot in the crisis. Yes, I know that the Constitution of Nigeria said that all Nigerians are equal before one another, but there are other subsections of the country which even allocation of resources, employment and co is being based on citizens and co. And I will refer you to Human Rights Watch report of 2011, which they said that there are people who are stateless in Nigeria, stateless individuals in Nigeria in regard to the conflict of Plateau in Plateau State and Delta State in Nigeria.
Yeah. Right. And so, that is where we have to leave it. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Shukran for your time. Hadisu Abubakar, you are currently a PhD scholar at Wits University. Your research interest includes climate adaptations, rural development, and access to water for sustainability. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you.
Africa. For your convenience, the Africa Muslims Agency's